Hello guys, this is Rito here and welcome back to another look at some Warcry warbands. This time we'll take a look at the Iron Golems and at the Unmade. First off, I'll go over the fighters and talk about each of them a bit, and then I'm going to go over a list that I think is good for each of these. So, let's have a look at the Iron Golems first. We've got the Dominar, um, who's dealing an average of 5.6 damage, which is nice. Good damage, average for his point value, so yeah, he's quite expensive, so you'd expect this kind of damage out of him. The ability he's got is not great because it gives him extra strength, and you don't really need strength as much most of the time, so he's not the best of all leaders, but you do have to take him anyway, so yeah, one Domino will be included anyways. Then we've got the Ogre Breacher. I think he's the most flashy model out of them all. Like, people obviously want to kill him, they know he's dangerous and so on. However, he only has an average damage output of 6.7 per action. That is not amazing. It goes up a lot if you give him Onslaught. He's at 10.1 then, which is very good. But without Onslaught, he's not that great. Um, and that's basically only due to him only having 2 attacks. So for his points value, he's only in the medium kind of damage tier. He is very tough to kill though, and that is good, like better than average as well. So the Ogre Breacher is not as damaging as you might think at first, especially for his points value. He's not necessarily worth it, but yeah, he's the most survivability you're going to get in the warband. Then we've got the two versions of the signifier. Um, the one with banner deals 4 points of damage per activation. The one with only the club deals 4.5. So very close in damage actually. If you take a look at it, I think the only difference is that the club guy has 1 crit damage higher, so it's a 5 damage crit instead of 4 damage crit or something, or 4 instead of 3, one of those. Um, yeah, I don't really think that he's that much greater, and for the banner at least you're getting the ability. So I think you might as well bring the banner. Um, yeah, I don't know. They are very similar. Neither of them is amazing. So as you can see, very average costs here. The club is obviously a bit better damage per point value. Um, so potentially bringing him could be good as well if you don't want that ability. And keep in mind, the only thing the ability does is improve your toughness, which I would rank rather low in the terms of how good that ability is. So might as well bring the club, I guess. Then we've got the Drill Master. This damage profile you see here, the 5.4, is for her melee weapon. So for the 1-inch ranged one. She's also got a flail that's 3-inch ranged, but I would say that the melee weapon is definitely her primary. It deals a lot more damage and is a lot more reliable. I think this is a lot better weapon than the flail is. So really treat her as that as well. Get her into combat. She's good enough for that, and then that's where she comes to her own and deals above average damage. So I think this is where she should be. Also, she's movement 5, so your highest movement fight in the warband, so she definitely can get in there. Yeah, that's that. Then we've got the Armator, the Dwarf, an average of 4 damage per action, which is good for his points. He's not very survivable, but it's fine. The real issue with this guy is that he is slow, and slow fighters suck a bit in Warcry. So I'm not a big fan of the Armator. Then we've got the 3 legionaries. The shield weapons are like double weapons and bowler. The shield only deals a pitiful 1.4 points of damage. The bowler's 1.5, which is almost as bad. So both of these deal very bad damage, and as you can see, that's below average for their point value. The legionnaire with the double weapons at least does average damage. However, the shield guy does last longer than the other two. So he's very good for his point value in terms of survivability. So what I would probably do um, is still take legionaries with shields to provide you with that survivability, and just put them on zones and so on, and capture points, and then deal the damage with your other pieces that actually are able to deal damage. So the list I would use for these guys is the following. I would get a Dominer, an Ogre, the Signifier with Banner, just because he costs 5 points less than the Club guy, and that just works out. And they are almost the same anyways in terms of damage and so on. So might as well bring him. Then I would get 2 Drill Masters, because she's very good damage per point value and good movement. You want that movement as well. Then I'd get 1 Legionary with shield and 2 with double weapons, just because that's how the points work out, and I think that it doesn't make a great difference at all. So those are 8 models and 1,000 points. I think that's a good list for Iron Golems. Moving on, we've got the Unmade. A lot less fighter types in general, but some of them are more special. We've got the Blissful one, and she is very, very good. 8.4 damage points per action is amazing. She's got an 8-inch move as well, so really mobile, really strong fighter, this one. Yeah, as you can see, good damage per point value, average in terms of survivability, so she really doesn't have any great drawbacks or anything. I think this is a great fighter. Sadly, you can only bring one because she's obviously the leader. Then we've got the Joyous one and the Ascended ones. They deal the same amount of damage. The Joyous one just has an ability that allows him to deal a bit of damage to all opponents surrounding him. And he's more difficult to kill, so he's got more wounds. So really, it's up to you which ones you want to use. Damage per point value for these guys is good for both, so whichever one you want to use, you can go for that. Then we've got the Awakened with Spear and the Awakened with Flail, and to me the Spear is better because 2-inch range is already good. You don't really need the 3. You're getting a bit higher damage with the Awakened one with Spear, and yeah, I think that's really all to be said about them. Very similar otherwise. So to have a look at a list, I think I'd go with the Blissful one, 2 Joyous one, 2 Ascended ones, and 4 Awakened with Spear. Gives you 9 models, a good bit of punching with these 4 guys, and the Blissful one, of course. What's also very nice about this warband is that all of them have the double ability that allows them to pin opponents in place. Very strong. So yeah, just in general, a good warband, I'd say. Not the best choices there, but not a large variety, but the models you've got are all very solid. Right, so thank you guys for watching. I hope you enjoyed, and see you next time.